Hi, I'm Katie Suzanne with Expected in Ministries, and today we're doing part 4 of our mini-series on demonic kings that hinder healing. If you haven't seen the first 2 or 3 parts, then you need to go back and check it out, because I'm building biblical precept upon biblical precept to give you a complete understanding of this scriptural truth. Yesterday, we talked about the very first thing that you must do if you want to become a killer of kings. You need to be a carrier of the presence of Jesus Christ, the King of Kings. If you want to be able to legally dethrone a demonic king, you must be backed by a king that's higher and more powerful than the one you're trying to remove. King of Kings, Jesus Christ, is the highest king of all. There is none that is higher than him. They are all lower than he is. Whenever you become a carrier of the presence of Jesus, that means that wherever you go, you can loose King Jesus into the atmosphere, and every other demonic king that might be on people's minds or their bodies or their finances will have to bow the knee to Jesus's presence. The first thing you need to do is spend at least 5 months just totally focused on Jesus. Why 5 months? Well, when we started our Jesus fast, that's the number the Lord gave us. But a friend of mine, Kelly, received a revelation about that. Do you remember the story in Luke 5 about Elizabeth? She got pregnant with John the Baptist, and it said for the first 5 months of her pregnancy, she was secluded. What does John the Baptist represent? He was the forerunner to the arrival of Christ. When you spend 5 months in focused time pursuing a whole new level of Jesus in your life, you're preparing for the arrival of Jesus. Now remember what happened after Elizabeth spent 5 months in seclusion. Mary came to see her, and she was impregnated with the seed of Jesus Christ. And when Mary spoke a greeting to Elizabeth, the baby John the Baptist leapt in her womb for joy. Why? Because he recognized the presence of Jesus in Mary. When you spend 5 months totally focused on Jesus, people are going to start to recognize the Spirit of Christ that's being birthed in you. And you know what else? The demonic will recognize it too. What do you do after 5 months though? You keep on honoring and worshiping Jesus for the rest of your life. So focusing on Jesus for an elongated period of time, that is number one. The number one thing you must do in order to become a killer of demonic kings. Okay, what's number 2? Soaking your soul man in the light of Jesus. When you're done watching this series, go back and watch our mini-series on how the light of Jesus heals your soul. There are wounds inside everybody's soul that are formed by sin. Sin gives the demonic, including demonic kings, the legal right to afflict you. Remember what Jesus said in John 14, that the prince of this world is coming, but he has nothing in me that's in common with him, so he has no power over me. We've got to get to the point where we receive a healing in our soul from the light of Jesus. When the wounds in our soul are healed, then demonic kings and the powers and master spirits underneath them in their kingdoms will not be able to torment us or have dominion over us. In fact, we will be able to have total dominion over them. So soaking your soul in the light of Jesus is number 2. Number 3, fasting. Jesus said in Mark 9 that these kind come only out by fasting and prayer. When you fast, you position yourself to take dominion over demonic kings. But it's not just any fast, it's the 40-day fast in the desert. Why? Because Jesus won dominion over Satan and the kings in the 40-day fast. And he was a man. Now, if Jesus did it as a man, then you need to do it too. There's some real significance in the 40-day fast. Let me tell you just a couple of reasons why we need to pursue that fast and complete it. For one, remember, the proper way to fight the demonic king is from the top down. When Jesus did the 40-day fast in the desert, he started at the top down. He took dominion over Satan first, and then all the kings that Satan offered him. That's reason number one. And then reason number two is this: the 40 days is very significant in defeating demonic kings. How so? When you look at the story in 1 Samuel 17 about David and Goliath, you can see that Goliath would come up every day and challenge Israel, the scripture says, for 40 days. Wow. Do you understand that Goliath represents every demonic king? The Philistines represent the kingdoms underneath them. Goliath came up and challenged Israel every day for 40 days. What was he doing? He was making decrees. He was establishing things for the dark realm. In the 40-day fast, you will come directly against those decrees and break them down and abolish everything that he set up in the 40-day challenge. 40 days is also important for this reason. When you fast for 40 days, you have to understand something, that you're coming directly against Satan, who is called Beelzebub, the Lord of the flies. The lifespan for a fly from birth to death is approximately 40 days. When you do the 40-day fast, you're coming against Beelzebub, the Lord of the flies. He is the Lord and all his kings are the flies, and you'll kill them all off in the 40-day fast. I can remember when we did the 40-day fast, the day after our fast ended, I had a vision. I saw all these demonic kings in all battle gear lined up with red scars flowing off of their shoulders. But the thing was, they weren't coming to attack me. They were turning away and filing away from me in single file, plodding slowly away on their horses, their chins bobbing up and down in total defeat. That was the Lord's way of showing me the 40-day fast has now won you dominion over Satan and every demonic king. Now, here's number 4. Ready? Put on the armor of God. Before you begin fighting kings, you need to put on your armor. Remember what it says in Ephesians 6:12. It says this: put on God's whole armor, that you may be able to successfully stand up against the strategies of the devil. For we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but against the despots, the powers, and the master spirits. In other words, the scripture is saying, put on God's whole armor, because you're fighting with kings and their kingdoms. Then the scripture even repeats the command a second time. Therefore, put on the complete armor of God, that you may be able to resist and stand your ground on the evil day of danger. I can remember once I was praying for a woman who had pneumonia. She had it's a viral infection that's very contagious. As I was praying for her, I had not finished my 40-day fast yet, and I had forgotten to put on my armor. I prayed for her. I broke a demonic king off of her body, and then I commanded the bad biologicals in her body to die, and she was healed. Problem being is that virus jumped on me, and I got sick. I had to go into another room and contend for 20 minutes to get those bad biologicals to be removed from my body. Before you start fighting demonic kings, you must do these things. You must first spend at least 5 months totally focused on Jesus. Become a carrier of his presence. That way, wherever you go, you are releasing the King of Kings, and he's doing the battle for you. Also, do the 40-day fast. If Jesus won dominion over Satan and the kings in the desert, you can too, because he did it as a man. And always put on your armor, and that way you'll go into battle fully prepared to win. Tomorrow, I'm going to give you more tips on how to battle and defeat demonic kings. You're not going to want to miss this. Now, if you want to have access to more of this amazing teaching, log on to our website at expectedinministries.com and get the Healing School CD set. You're going to learn about demonic kings that afflict your physical body, kings that are over witchcraft, that cause epilepsy and bipolar, that even are over your rebellious children. You're going to learn about kings that are over curses and kings that can bring famine, poverty, and lack on your finances. You're going to want to get this important teaching. Hey, don't miss tomorrow. I'm going to give you more steps on how to battle these demonic kings. My name is Katie Souza. I'm with Expected in Ministries. We'll see you later.